Welcome back to Wash Talk, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today is Mark Youngworth, Chief Marketing Officer for ZIPS Car Wash. Mark, thanks for spending a few minutes with me here today.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Rich. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So why don't you get you on the program today, Mark, to discuss ZIPS's community-focused approach through strategic partnerships. And almost as long as motorized cars have been on the road in America, Mark, car washes have been a fixture, right, in communities across the nation, across this great nation, right? So as ZIPS is approaching 300 locations here, how does a major car wash chain such as ZIPS maintain that regional presence and community focus at each of its individual sites?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Rich. And I think, as you said, as ZIPS is approaching 300, we have no signs of slowing down anytime soon. We have growth plans to be a much bigger brand than even where we are today. But car washing is still a very local business, right? And so for us, it's really important to remain hyper local while we're building an overarching brand, right? Those are kind of our two push and pulls with that. And so, convenience and value drive a lot of what's happening on a local level. We do know that, but we got to try to find ways to connect with local consumers and with the local community. And really, that's been our number one driving focus. I'd say, first of all, it's about having those 300 locations, right? When you have that type of penetration on a local level, you make yourselves much more convenient. We have a great value play when it comes to both price for retail customers as well as our unlimited club plans. So that's great, right? We fit with that piece really, really well. But I'd say what I think helps differentiate us is our great leaders that we have at the site level on the ground, focused on delivering a great experience. There's that old adage of there's no better marketing than great operations. And I'm a true believer in that. So a great product is going to get a customer coming back more and more. And so great leaders on the ground is number one for us. But really connecting with that is our newly built field marketing team. So we have some fantastic leaders from outside the industry coming in, bringing some expertise to the industry that really hasn't been there before. And it's about, creating that brand life on a local level. And it's doing it with a lot of those same kind of channels that a lot of us have been doing for a long time in car washing. It's about school fundraising. It's about connecting with local charities, doing clothing drives, things like that, but also stretching it into B2B opportunities, right? Other retail chains, things like that. And then even connecting with the local chambers of commerce and seeing what opportunities we can get into activate live events. And so, for us, it's probably a multi-layered approach of staying really really focused on a local level. But what I'll say is new and different for us, especially this year, has been kind of our aggressive approach to collegiate sports sponsorship. So something new for us. We kicked it off really the middle of last year, but really call it this collegiate year. And it's creating a unique bond that we're finding, a really unique bond between our field leaders and the local consumers, right? It's a great connection for us. It's a multi-year investment, and we're in year one now. We're learning a lot, and we feel this is going to help us grow year on year.
All right, good. Yeah, and I wanted to discuss a little bit about that program. Can you share any other details about some of your most recent or successful local, regional, or national partnerships here?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, we're invested in the community. There's a lot of community activity kind of going on right now. Like I mentioned, school fundraising, tying back in with high school sports programs and band and music programs, clothing and food drives at different times of the year, kind of B2B offers and other retail customers and kind of sharing consumer databases, and then having some fun community events and being a part of local 5Ks and things like that. So there's a lot of that activity that's still happening. But again, I keep coming back to the sports sponsorships in terms of what's new at ZIPS and how are we connecting locally at ZIPS. And this is probably the most broadly or overarching community marketing that we've done for our business this year. And so we have relationships with 15 schools so far, year one of a multi-year investment. We do feel like this level of investment is unique in our car wash industry. We do know others are within sports, but not quite to the scale that we are, right? Maybe they don't have that same reach, but we're finding that this is really an exciting place for us to go, finding some great connections with customers. And so and this is doing that two things that I mentioned on the front end, right? It's building a stronger overarching brand with the IP connection of the school and ZIPS, but it's also allowing us to really stay locally connected with local fans of the teams as well as ZIPS.
Yeah, let's talk about that program, the Carwash Convos series, right? That we see coming out the past few months from ZIPS. Fun little interviews with student athletes in the series. So can you give us a little bit of background on how that Carwash Convos series came about, and how do you find the student athletes for the series?
Yeah. So Carwash Combos really kind of came about as the broader relationship grew with these schools, right? So as we look at the schools, the first thing we jumped into is kind of what you would expect, right? We jumped into the IP, and we wanted to make sure that we were connecting the school IP with the ZIPS brand across as many touch points as possible. So whether it was on our sites, through our digital channels, within the community, or through the school's, sites and digital channels, we really wanted to make sure that we were connecting, like, for example, University of Tennessee, the balls, the big T, the orange T, everyone knows that T. That T in ZIPS is kind of synonymous right now, kind of in Knoxville, for us. And that's a great connection for us. We're proud of that connection. And so kind of pulling that through in every possible way we can, everything from wash naming to uniforms to sweeps giveaway to, live stadium kind of advertisement in Neyland Stadium, as an example, is all what you'd expect from a sports sponsorship. And I think that what we like about Carwash Combos is it's a little bit unexpected, right? It's our first dip into NIL, which is really new for a lot of marketers, certainly not just car wash marketers, but retail marketers in general. And so it was our first jump in. We weren't really sure how it was going to go, but we've been really excited by what we've seen so far. And so really what Carwash Combos is just a really authentic conversation between one student athlete and another student athlete while they're driving through a local ZIPS. And so it's something for us that we're super excited about.
Yeah, one for sure. Watched a few of the episodes, and they're very fun. So I encourage, where can people watch these episodes? And if you're a student athlete or a school who wants to get involved, where can they go and find out more information?
Yeah, so I mean, we've released 8 episodes so far. They're all available. All the past episodes are available on our YouTube and social channels, so you can go back and look at all of the different episodes we released. We do have a new one that's coming out. Or actually, let me speak first about the one that we just released, which was Carlin Pickens. Carlin is a superstar freshman softball pitcher for the University of Tennessee Lady Vols. She's a fantastic pitcher, but a great personality as well. You'll get to learn a lot about Carlin from Kenzie Couch. Kenzie is actually a cheerleader at Tennessee, as well as she's getting her journalism degree. And Kenzie's been great. She's been our host for all of our Tennessee Carwash Combos. And so you can kind of go check that latest episode out on YouTube or our social channels. But we do have a new one coming out here. I'll tease it a little bit. She's a student athlete for the University of Arkansas. She's a record holding track and field superstar. She's a 4x400 meter specialist. And I mean, really her personality and her athleticism, she shines on and off the track for sure. And so she's a great representative for our brand. We're really excited to have her feature in an upcoming car wash combo. And that will be released on the 20th. And so I'll tease it and say, to find out more about who she is and learn all about her, please check us out on our YouTube channel or our social channels.
And that's April 20th, correct? Coming up here in April?
April 20th, yeah, coming up soon.
Sure. And those are released about once a month, is it? Or
yeah, like I said, as we're doing this, we're kind of catching up this year, right? Because I'm learning a lot, right? Year one of this whole program, it's like any other traditional marketing channel. You launch, you learn, you optimize, and you move forward. And so kind of that's what we've taken to this sponsorship as well. So what I'll tell you is between now and kind of the end of May, we'll have kind of a heartbeat approach of almost one a week. But typically, as you kind of go into this, the beauty of Carwash Combos for us is that we have 12 student athletes across 3 of our schools. Those 3 schools are where we're highly penetrated. And so we are able to kind of share a little bit more frequently than just once a month, right? So I think what you'll see is a cadence here of about once a week over the next 5 weeks of what we have remaining.
Cool. All right. So as we wrap up, Mark, are there any other partnerships or programs that you have coming up over these next couple of months that folks should watch out for?
Yeah, I think we're kind of taking what we've learned from our sports sponsorship year one, right? There's a couple of, we not necessarily a secret sauce, but we see a good kind of multi-layered approach of connecting with local consumers. And so we're testing that in other ways outside of those kind of sports sponsor markets we have. So there's some new things we have kind of moving there. But then I would say look for kind of year two of our sports sponsorship kicking off as we get later in the summer and look to literally kick off college football season. So we're excited about that.
All right, sounds good. Well, it sounds like you guys are getting to know your communities that you serve very well. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to do this podcast interview with me here today. And it's always great catching up with the folks over at ZIPS.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you, Rich.